So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter from verbalherb.com. And it is Wealth Wednesdays with Walter on the Demetra K Show, where every Wednesday we talk about financial strategies from how to make money and how to keep it. And of course, I want to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are participants because we do read your questions, comments, and concerns. And since today is Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, if you have any financial questions, please feel free to throw them in the comment section. Hello, Brother Reggie. How you doing? Throw them in the comment section so that he can address your questions, comments, or concerns. So today we are going to talk about how the black dollars are no match for inflation. Hello, Sunlight. Hello, Tracy. And I am going to put up a tweet. I guess that's kind of been trending around. And so what Walter's going to do is he's going to kind of explain it, break it down a little bit. And of course, I would like you guys' input. And yes, thank you, Reggie. You guys hit the like button. I would love and appreciate that if you do that. And so we'll give everybody else just a couple of more moments to come in here. So Walter, what do you say before we get started?
I say hit the Cash App button. And all the Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, Stripe. I mean, this is a money show. So I'm putting it out there, goodwill. There's money coming from all over the place, all areas. I give you full permission to accept all the money and never turn it down. Who was that said that? So Ariana Grande never turned down money. Was that her?
I don't know, but I like it.
That's my favorite line.
Yes, indeed. So what's going on? I'm gonna give everybody a couple more seconds to get in here before I get started.
Well, shit, it's tax season. Wait, tax season's over. Well, it's tax season. It ain't over for me.
It's tax season for you.
It's always tax season for me.
All right.
No, people that don't like to pay tax, their tax season's generally over in October. So I don't know. I mean, you still got to pay the tax, but
all right.
it's not late.
I'll go ahead and get started. So as you guys know, we are in what they call some sort of a recession. They're saying that we're on the verge of one, but I think it's probably in the, what do I know, right? Hey, Adrian, how you doing? I think we're probably more on the verge of a depression. I don't know, man. What do I know, right? So anyway, you guys know that everything that we can think of is going up. Gas, food, housing, you name it is going up. Walter, y'all paying with $7 almost a gallon for gas in California?
$7 to $10 a gallon.
$7 to $10, and we're roughly around $4.50-ish, give or take, here in Texas, which is a lot of money for Texans to pay. Now, if I was in California, $4 and some odd cents would be bad, but it wouldn't be abnormal, right? And so there's this tweet that's kind of trending around. I'm gonna put it up so you guys can see it. And Walter's going to give us his take, and you guys also throw your comments in the comment section. So Walter, when I put this up, what comes to mind?
Mexico, Spain, Ghana. Like, shit, that's crazy. Abby, actually, $2,000 rent is like down south where you guys are. California, $2,000. You can't rent a room in California in a nice neighborhood without multiple gunshots for $2,000. I mean, well, you can. There's some really shitty neighborhoods that you can rent for under $2,000, but you're gonna have a 1-bedroom, and you're gonna have mariachi music and hip hop and shit playing till 4 a.m. But for $2,000, that's more like once you leave California. But it is doable, believe it or not. So like this tweet, I understand what King J is saying. You need to make 3 times the rent, which is $6,000. It's $1,250 a week if you look at it that way, right? Or shit, it's $200 a day. So, when I saw this tweet, I thought, oh my God, like the old me thought that's a lot of money. But then the new me was like, it's not a lot of money. It's $1,200. It's $120. What is that? $120 a day, or what did I say? No, not $120. It's what is that? 12. What is that? Like $230, something like that a day.
So that's it. So that equals $6,000 a month.
Yeah. So here's what people miss with this tweet, and I get my calculator because the 3 times the rent. So you pay $2,000 in rent. What are you doing with the other $4,000? One, and then if you need $6,000, 2 of you make 3. It just takes 2 of you to be in a house. And isn't a household 2 people anyways?
Right. Okay. But let's think realistically, right? Because, like you said, even in Texas, and you guys help us out from wherever you're at, even in Texas, $2,000 is, kind of becoming the norm depending on where you live, right? Like you said, that's in California. You can't even rent a cardboard box for that. But even here in Texas, you're seeing the rents start to rise. I mean, and that's even like for apartments. That ain't even for a house anymore. And so, realistically, a lot of people aren't making $6,000 a month, right?
That is true. A lot of people aren't, and that's what I call self-inflicted wound. Yeah, I get it. We've been trained to go to work and get a job, but we're not watching this show. We're not doing this show to cater. And I know maybe I'm taking the wrong side of this argument, but we're not doing this show to cater to people that are stuck making $4,000 a month. The reason we're doing this show is to get you making $4,000 a week. Now, if this is you and you're stuck making $50,000 a year, I mean, you can't live on that. But you got to cut a lot of the stuff. I guarantee you a lot of these people that are in this situation have car notes, right? Car notes, student loans, loans. They got all kinds of stuff in their life that they just need to cut and get rid of. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do, you guys. This is just the beginning. I mean, there are women who are trying to feed their kids formula and couldn't even get food for them. So when we get to the point where we're out of baby food, that's just the beginning. So this is going to get way, way worse. But here's what I always say to people. If it was me, and let's say it was me and my woman, and we had to start out brand new butt naked, just like Adam and Eve, just out the gate, I would go, I'm telling you, man, I always tell people Chipotle's hiring $21 an hour. That's $42 an hour. I mean,
but that also depends on if you're going to work full time as well, because most Chipotle jobs or, jobs like that is not really a full-time job.
Well, they are now. I mean, these places, they're paying $21 because they're short.
Mm-hmm.
They're short labor. They need people to work 60 hours a week. The problem is this job is not sexy. That's the problem. Because when me and you was working at McDonald's, kicking a bucket and all, like, it was fun, but we was making $3.35. Even if it was $10.35, working in a restaurant, it ain't sexy. And then you have to deal with the whole mental thing. Like if you and your wife worked at Chipotle, and I know I'm joking, talking about this, but if you and your wife worked at Chipotle and the two of you made $42 an hour, that's still almost $1,700 a week. That's $80,000 a year. Shit, you need 72 to pay rent. So, and everywhere that I look is hiring. Everywhere. There's signs everywhere. We are hiring. Me and my son Miles, who's behind me quietly most of the time, we went by the survival store and they had a now hiring sign even for the survival bunker Joe Biden is president store. So everybody is hiring. It's just, are we willing to do that type of work until we get going on our feet?
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, I guess maybe I think there's a lot of people out there who would do what they need to do regardless. But I think he's more or less speaking to also, like when you go rent an apartment, most landlords say you need 3 times the rent. Well, if the rent is $2,000, they're saying that you need to be making at least $6,000 a month. And so, I mean, to your point, you broke it down with Chipotle. I guess it is feasible, but wouldn't it make also better sense to buy a house?
I mean, that's spilled milk under the bridge. Trying to get people to buy real estate, invest, it takes them too long to move. Like, think about this. You see all these apartments being built. Like in Texas, you can buy a house for cheaper than you could buy to rent an apartment. But for whatever reason, most people still rent because of the fear factor of having to engage, own something, all the shit that can go wrong. They go over 4 million reasons why they can't do it. I mean, if you live in Texas and you can buy a house for $200,000, which you can, and in a decent neighborhood too, with garages and all kinds of stuff. Your mortgage interest rates are up now, so your mortgage is closer to $1,100 plus property tax and insurance. But it's doable. And some of these places will give you down payment assistance. It's 3% down FHA. The problem is, I think most people are just afraid. If you are making $50,000 a year and you need 72 to survive, my question to you is, what are you doing after you get off work? Is your TV on? Is your Netflix doing what mine's doing right now, showing all the shows that's flashing by? Like what are you doing when you get off of the plantation? Don't be confused. Having a job is a plantation. Period. Hey, Michael Jordan, see you. So what happens is, if I go to work and I'm gonna take it back to Chipotle again. I make 21 bucks an hour. I can do that then, but when I get home, I need to go. My boss, the guy that owns this restaurant, pays me 21 bucks an hour to deal with 20, 30 people in that hour. And they're spending $10 a piece. Because Chipotle, a vegetarian burrito is 10 bucks with a drink. And if food costs, it costs them $1 to make all that stuff. So what I would be doing is going, okay, I deal with this many people per hour. They're making 100 to 150 bucks an hour on my labor, and I'm getting 21 of it. When I get home, I'm going to turn the table. So when I get off work, I'm going to then turn into a business owner, period. The problem is you can't get people to do that. So this tweet he's making will get a lot of views, and people, oh yeah, that is shit. It is tough. It's not tough if you do the work. The problem is we won't do it. I want to ask everybody who's affected by this tweet, are you working 15-hour days as we speak? Because you only need 6 to sleep. So you have 18 hours left. My question is, what are you doing with those other 18 hours?
Hello, Stephanie, and everybody else that came on here. And Stephanie says, what about people like me, disabled and unable to work?
Here's my thing. If you can type in the comment section, you can make money. Period. So if I'm disabled and I don't know what your disability is, do you mind telling us, like, we don't want to know what your disability is, but do you mind telling us give us an idea what the issue is? I mean, if you wanted a serious answer, I can answer it. I can actually walk you through it. I've dealt with disabled people before. I deal with a lot of people with disabilities, some of them mental. Matter of fact, most disabilities are either mental or based on what you put in your body.
She also wants to know who's going to watch the kids.
Shit. I don't know. The neighborhood. Like, it takes a village to raise kids. Ask one of your neighbors, right? So here's what I would do if I had kids again, and that ain't happening. I can tell you that. But let's assume I did a bunch of drugs and I had a reverse vasectomy and I had some kids. What I would do is I would find somebody that I can pay to watch my kids. Now, yes, it's going to cost money. That means I just need to work harder. So my second job may be to get my business off the ground, and some of that money is to pay my daycare. But my first job is going to be to support me. Or my first job is for some basic things and for daycare. But my side hustle, my night money, is for me and my family. Because there are people out there with kids that do extremely well. They'd be dropping their ass off at daycare, some of them. Or if we really want to talk about race, you see them when you go into these Indian grocery stores. Who be back there with them? Their kids. These little Chinese kids be back there. Matter of fact, Gary V, guy that I follow, his father made him work at the liquor store. He was pissed, but he turned it into Wine TV. Now Gary V is on his way to billions. So you can take your kids to work. Matter of fact, one of my house cleaners in Texas, she brings her kid to work. Every time she cleans the house, when she show up, she brings a kid to work. I see the kid on the Ring camera, her yelling at the kid, sit down. So your kids are not an excuse. You just have to find a way to do it. So, like I said, if you can type a comment, you can make money. Last week, for everybody that was on this show, I told you how to go to Alibaba and buy something. You can go to Alibaba. There's zillions of things you could buy. They'll send you a sample. They'll send it to your house. You could sample it. And you could buy something for $2 and sell it on Amazon for 20, or sell it, start your own website and find a marketing company. You could sell it for 20. And you could do that all from your computer. You don't even have to leave the house, right? You can drop ship. Matter of fact, I was watching this guy this class that I'm taking on Thursday or Friday, where he's showing people how like to take Fiji water and buy it from the wholesaler and have that Fiji water shipped right to Amazon or somebody and have them buy it from Amazon without even leaving your house. So if you can type, you can make money.
So she says she has mental and physical disabilities.
So what are those though? I mean, well, no, here's what I understand, but I'm saying if you want, are you telling us that you have a disability because you want us to use that as an excuse, or do you want help? If you want help, we can help you. So I've dealt with people with disabilities, physical and mental. You ever seen somebody in a wheelchair at work? You see them all the time in a wheelchair at work. Now, mental disabilities are a lot different. But I always tell people, and I'm not a mental expert because I got a lot of mental illnesses of my own that I deal with every day. I deal with mental illness, anxiety, depression. You think you guys are the only ones that get depressed? I get depressed. I wake up sometimes and go, oh, hell no. And I just go, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm on it. And I find it when the faster I'm moving, the less depressed I am because I don't have time for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a black man in California with 6 kids. I was married to a white woman. I had all kind of shit coming at me at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's depressing. I'm just dealing with 50 things at once. What kept me sane was moving the whole time. Because then you saw when I would slow down and I'd be sitting on the couch, like when I was living at your house, when I went broke. I was doing Herbalife. Nothing wrong with Herbalife. Matter of fact, that's a good side hustle. But I went from being Kanye's financial planner to selling Herbalife because I gave up. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this. I just want to chill, sit on the couch. I remember making this dumbass comment. I just want to be average. Get me a cool little home and do a 9 to 5 and just go home and just be like everybody else. That's where I was. So, and I some days, like yesterday, I was even struggling with this. I was like, you know what? Shit, I need to be making more money. What can I do to make more money? And then I sat with my son, Evan, and we did a spreadsheet of all the numbers of everything that we're doing and the money. And I was like, oh shit, there's money everywhere. The problem is we need to count it more often and be grateful. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to be responsible for it. I don't care anything. Like if you can speak and talk and use your hands, you can make money. Period. Can you do this? Can you move? You know what I'm saying? Like, you see these candles lit this week. I made all these candles. I did that sitting right here. So if I was in a wheelchair, I could do it. If I was mentally challenged, and when I mean mentally challenged, like anxiety, depression, which is really popular with our culture, doing stuff for myself makes me feel better. I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Hit the like button, you guys. Come on out. Unless you don't like it, then hit it anyways.
Yes, indeed. So I'm just looking at some of these comments in here. Let's see. Let me go back a little bit. I saw T-Zoids. How you doing? And they said this.
Okay, I see a couple of these comments I want to address.
Go ahead and let me know which one they are. How you doing, Honeydew?
Okay. So if you live in Texas and you can't afford to live there, then you need to change what you're doing. Because people from here are going to Texas in droves. I mean, you can live in Texas. There's a house in my neighborhood. I live in this lake community. A house across the street for $800 rent. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now it's a mobile home. You know, if the Witch of the West show up, it might blow away, but it's grounded on a foundation. The point I'm making is I could go pay $800, live in this house. In Texas, food and things are still somewhat reasonable. You could do it.
It's getting bad. I mean, like I said, I went to the store with my daughter the other day and we paid probably, I would say almost twice as much as we would have normally paid.
But it's still reasonable though, compared to everywhere else. And you got something else you need to think about too, especially Black people. You start moving to these areas where it's really cheap. You start dealing with the Uncle Billy Bob and them. That's what it really broke. You know, you understand where I'm going with this. You know, that's when you start dealing with the Hicks and the people kissing cousins and all that stuff. You know, like ropes hanging in the front yard. If you get your rent get too cheap. So, and here's what I want to say about food. Food is expensive, but you guys know you can make food really, really cheap. Like I used to eat red meat. I haven't eaten red meat in quite some time. When I would go to the grocery store, my food bill, I could spend $100 on vegetables that would last me for weeks. Now they don't last forever because they're perishable. Um, but when I would add meat, my food bill would triple, right? A thing of salmon is 20, $30. And that's one meal for four people. Versus if I spend $100 on groceries, I made a vegan chili for like 10 people at my house. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the food we have total control over. The vegetables, you guys, or even if you, I'm not saying to become a vegan or plant, you don't have to do plant-based, but I'm saying those things are cheaper than spending. I see you in the store buying lobster for $40, crab legs for $70, and then pull out an EBT card like, bam, y'all take that. So you have to pick and choose. If you're given assistance and you're going to spend half of it on a luxury item that's going to give you high cholesterol anyways, that is really your fault. So you really don't have room to speak. Now, I'm just coming from someone that has been through all this stuff. My food bill has decreased quite a bit over the last few weeks since I stopped eating meat. Now, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm Sunlight, let me put her comment back up. She says, I'm on all fruit and vegetables like you, still high. Yes. And so that's what I did. I went to the store this past Sunday because I'm with you and Walter now, raw vegan. Ooh, it's a challenge. Okay. And so I went and spent money, and I spent $102 at the store, and I mostly bought fruits and vegetables. So yeah, things are pretty, avocados. Yes. Especially avocados. Ooh,
but you can very high. Too. There's these farms out here. You can go to some of these farms and you can pick this stuff yourself. I went and picked blueberries and strawberries from this little farm on the way home. There's things you could do.
That's too close to picking cotton. I'm just playing.
I mean, if I could pick some cottons and make this shirt I'm wearing or make a dollar bill out of it, I would do it. I mean, food costs are not going down. So we can talk about it, but there's nothing we could do. But only figure out how to buy more food. Another thing you guys could do, I don't know if you want to hear this, is I started fasting. I haven't eaten since yesterday. And so right now I'm on this 48-hour fast. That's what you can, if you're struggling with finances, you can fast. That's cheaper. But not only is it cheaper, it cleans you out. You guys, I have not eaten in almost 30 hours, and my energy is higher than it was right after I ate.
I haven't eaten in like 4, and I'm hungry.
Well, first of all, your mind, hunger is all mental. Matter of fact, there are people that I follow that go 3 days without eating on a regular basis. Because what happens is when you eat, like your brain's like, oh, thank you. But you realize you could go weeks without eating and your body will feed on the fat, will feed on the nutrients. Some of y'all can go a year without eating.
You talking to me?
I'm not talking to you. You guys think about this. When you eat food, what do? You use the bathroom the next day. That's all waste. All your body does is take the nutrients from it and throw everything else away. Do you see what I'm saying? So why not just start doing that on your own, right? In the supermarket, like I buy all organic, and I get it, and it's higher. But because I'm eating right, I don't have to eat as much, and I feel better. I don't feel sluggish, right? Ketosis, that's a good way to go too. I don't get wrapped up in all the ketosis, Atkins, and all that. I'm just I'm literally trying to eat to live.
But I think what he's saying is when you do that, you do go into ketosis.
Oh, that is true. That's actually true. And so like the first 12 hours, something happens to your brain, and then 18 hours, and then 24 hours, like all these things are like, your cells start rebuilding, and ketosis, I guess, is a state where your body's most functional. So you have to, like, those are things that would save you money and make you more clear so you can make more money. Like today, I just noticed how clear I was. I was able to do 3 or 4 things at once. And I noticed today, my decision-making process was much better. That's because, like this morning, I didn't have to stop and eat breakfast, which all breakfast means is to break the fast. That's all that is. You guys have to understand that. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. That's when you should be skipping your meal. Like if breakfast is the easiest meal to skip by far. And so is lunch. Like if you're out working, like today, I just got home at 2:30 and I left my house, I don't know, I woke up at 4:30. I left my house, I don't know, 7, 8, something like that. When you're out grinding it, you ever notice when you're out working that you don't stop to eat?
Yes.
You don't stop to eat. The people that stop to eat are people that have jobs. Okay, it's 12, we got to go to lunch. Or hey, we're side hustle, we're pretending to work, let's go have lunch.
Did you say side hustle and pretending to work?
Yeah, I'm talking about people, you're out there selling something, you ain't really selling it. You thought, let's take a break. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm grinding it, I don't have time to stop and eat. And when I do eat, next time I eat, I'm gonna put all my stuff, garlic, avocados, kale, turmeric, all that. I'm gonna put it in a blender and I'm gonna drink it. I'm gonna be done with that. And then I can keep doing what I'm doing. I know it sounds crazy, but like, what are you trying to get done? Do you want to spend 3 hours making meals every day? What's up, Evan? This is my son in the back with the afro. I'm alive. I almost hit him in the gas station. Anyways, long story. So, man, we have to start taking responsibility for what we do. Everything that we talked about has a solution. Somewhere there is one dude out there with one leg kicking ass. And there's people out there with 2 legs that are struggling. If you got 2 legs and 2 arms and you can move them on your own, you are capable. The problem is, and I argue with people all the time when it comes to mental health. As a matter of fact, my clothing line, Verbal Herb, is a mental health clothing line. I want people to read these shirts. I want you to go to Verbal Herb and buy them so my depression goes away. And I want people to think I can do it. Like even the shirt I'm wearing now says, "Thou that gives your shirt off his back shall be naked." That is my way of saying, hell no, F you, I'm not doing it. Can I borrow money? No. Can you come pick up? No. Can you go to Target? No. Can you give me a ride? No. Because when I tell you yes, I'm telling me no. Start telling people no. I can't do it. I had a girl send me a Cash App. I haven't seen it in 3 years. Shut my mouth. Anyways, I declined it. But I'm like, tell people no. Number 1. 2, stop doing things that consume your time. Some of y'all spend 3 hours in the kitchen cooking every day. That is insanity to me. When you can meal prep your stuff in 30 minutes. You can make your food for the whole dang day. Hey, Kimmy, what up? Like, seriously. But the problem is we had all these damn excuses. There's no reason why you should not be out. You should not be out making money. And if your challenge is money, go do it. Today, I'm going to tell you some things. I'm going to give you some money-making ideas and tell you what I'm doing to kind of help speed things up. But here's what you do. Every moment of the day that you're not making money, now if you're with your family and stuff, that's different, but you should be talking about money or at least having a conversation, right? I know every time I'm with my family, all of us together, generally it's me spending money. Well, some of us pitch in and some of us be like, the bathroom is close. So why not shift your money, your focus to money, which is only taking care of you and your family. Then go, what else am I doing with my time? Since I'm not in the kitchen 3 hours every day, I'm not buying, what is that, eight chicken wings for $24 or whatever that comment was.
That is crazy.
But people do it. I know when I was eating meat all the time, when I would see the barbecue man, I would stop and it'd be like $20 for one dish. Because I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna help the brother. I'm gonna get cancer, all this shit, but I'm gonna help this brother keep it in the community. I was eating that crap and blowing money. Now I drive right past the barbecue man, and that's $20 that I get to keep in my pocket. You see what I'm saying? Another thing you guys can start doing, and I struggle with this, is cut back on alcohol. I mean, everybody did tell you on the show we used to do, I would drink a half bottle of wine on this show and then cook and eat and drink the other half and then have a nightcap and do a Bloody Mary in the morning. I mean, shit. I have a bottle of wine that's been sitting over there 3 weeks, which I'm proud of. But when I stopped drinking, my weight dropped. That's less money that I spend on alcohol, and I make better decisions. Some of the most stupidest things I've ever said was over alcohol, and some of the worst business decisions I've ever made was when I was drinking. Relationships too.
And I mean, I don't say the crazy part, I mean, because we got to eat, right? Even if you ain't fasting. Hey, Romel and NIEs, who else came on here?
50 grand.
See, so I didn't say hello to you. Super Patriot, how you doing? And DJ B-Side, 1965, how you doing? Who else came on here? Just want to make sure I acknowledge everybody. Pam is jamming, Joel, S.A. Smith. And I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. And Sator, I saw your comment. I ain't going to read it, though, but how you doing anyway? So yeah, people need food, but you really think about it. I mean, because I know the last couple of times in the last couple of months that I've gone to the store, and I'm not one of those people that like to go to the store and say, okay, well, we can't get this or we can't get that. But I am a little bit more conscious of what I'm spending. Like, okay, in the larger scheme of things, do we really need that? And so, especially since there is, I guess, some sort of a food shortage from what they say. I don't know. I just really eat fruits and vegetables. And things are higher, more expensive, I should say. I think that it is a way to help you save a little bit more money by saying, okay, well, do I need that again this week? Or is there something else I can do? You know, maybe find a substitute or something like that. Because I know if I go to the store and I just go ham, it's going to be my, Chase bank account is going to be like, you went over your budget. So it's really about just finding different ways of doing it. Now, I don't eat meat, but I like the taste of meat. I like meat, but if I go buy it, it will make my grocery bill go up quite a bit. So I just try not to do that.
I mean, you guys, I'm telling you, most of our stuff, most of our stuff is self-inflicted. Our pain is self-inflicted. Period. You guys talking about food costs are high? Then get out of the store spending money. I see people. I see you in the ice cream section spending $10 on ice cream. Man, you could have bought like a whole meal for you and your family for $10. Even if you went to the crappy boxed and frozen section. Like if it's in a box or a can, I don't touch it. Period. Man, you guys, and you need to stop doing that. Most of the stuff has sugar in it. You guys are killing yourself. No wonder you can't get up and make no money. Like, next time you go to a grocery store, and I learned this from you, walk the outside of the aisle. Because you have, like, once in a while, I have some salmon thawing in my freezer. It's been in there 3 days. I've been staring at it. I don't know if I'm going to eat that or not. I might feed it to my kids. I don't know. We'll see. But I go to the outsides, like the vegetables and I don't do dairy, but, I skip that. But a lot of the fresh stuff is on the outside. And that's where I eat. I'm talking like next to never, unless I'm getting tissue and stuff, and then I go to Costco for that. I find myself in the inside aisles. That is where the poor people and the sick and the big fat asses are, in the middle aisles of the store. You see them, the big ones, they can roll on their side and roll. It's like a zero any way they roll. I want to roll them to and say, dude, put the Snickers case down.
But you mind your business.
I mean, I do, but I want to help these people. Man, I've lost 27 pounds in less than 2 months from just doing what I told you to do.
And Wilbur, my condolences to the loss of your friend. That's never anything fun to go to lose somebody who is dear to you. So my condolences.
And it sucks too. I mean, it's like you guys, and we could save so many more people by just eating better. Like you guys get on YouTube and follow Dr. Berg. That dude is brilliant. And Dr. Sebi, or, I know his kids, they kind of branched off a little bit, but like follow his stuff. Or the Yaki dude, or there's this video of Food Design Medicine. It's a bunch of women on stage. They are breaking it down. If you do this, not only will you be lighter, you will be healthier. You'll spend less money on, You'll spend less money on junk, and you make better decisions. right? So what does that say? I just got home from sleeping. How was my? You talking about her? Oh, that's fine.
How you doing, Ollie?
Let's go on the screen. Now put some cash on it. So those things, I know this isn't really money, but those things will help you get geared for making money because you'll be clear. I'm telling you guys, like having to eat to live is totally different. Like, and I'm not talking about eat to live, like, oh, I'm reading the book. I'm talking about eating to live, like your survival depends on it. That is what I'm talking about. Like when you eat something, you go like when I ate yesterday, I took, it was horrible. Tomatoes, onions, mushrooms. I made my own ground beef with mushrooms, tomatoes, onions, turmeric, cayenne pepper, put an avocado in there, and I bought this vegan cheese and I grounded it up to make ground beef. It was horrible. But I ate it. And this morning I woke up and I was like, boom, it's 4:30. I'm energized. Normally when I have a steak and drink a bottle of wine, I'm sluggish. So, and you guys, I was speaking about, genocide. Let's just get to it. If I'm the man that wants to kill black people, besides giving them the Colonel's fried chicken, I'm gonna give them shitty food. Oh, you got to see Undercover Brother. Please tell me you guys have seen Undercover Brother.
100 times.
Oh, that shit was so funny. But if I wanted to kill black people, people of color, whatever, I would just feed them. Man, you go to some of these restaurants and there's gravy and there's bread and there's syrup and like macaroni and cheese. Like if you eat macaroni and cheese, you're asking your heart attack, stroke, diabetes, cancer, sickness is a moment, is just close. And it's you doing it to yourself. And I know I love macaroni and cheese. It is the bomb. But I made a decision. Do I want to walk when I'm 70 or do I want to eat macaroni and cheese?
I mean, that's really where it is now, and a lot of times people will say, well, it's too expensive to eat healthy. It costs too much to eat organic or whatever. But I've always heard it this way. You're going to pay for it now or you're going to pay later. So what are you going to do? You're going to pay now and, avoid the doctor because that's what the later is, the doctor, the hospital visits, the medications and all of those things, And I'm one of those people, I hate needles and all that other stuff. And so I think about that kind of stuff when I'm wanting to eat bad. And I don't always eat good. I don't, I try to eat better than I don't. But I think about those things like, damn, when I'm older, am I going to be one of those people having to go to the doctor every week and get, blood drawn and this and that? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do none of that. So I'm going to try to avoid it by eating better right now and, exercising and drinking your waters and, all that kind of stuff, because in the end, it's going to add up. It's going to cost you your life or it's going to cost you more money. So.
Right.
And, to Brother Jonell, how you doing, by the way? Make a good point. You are your first doctor. It's up to you, to make sure that you're putting the right foods into your body, because if you go to the doctor, they're going to say, well, maybe you need to cut back on the salt, but they're not going to just give it to you raw, right? Because if they do, then you don't go to them. They need you as a customer/patient. So it's up to us, especially like I always say now, with Google being free, there is no reason not to know. There's anything you want to know, you can go on YouTube and figure it out. And so if you don't know how to eat better, I mean, at this point, it's our fault if we don't know that, right? Because the information is there.
100%, 100%. It is your fault. All the stuff I'm doing, I got from YouTube and Google. And there's so much out there to eat better, you have zero excuse. Turn off the Housewives of Atlanta and all these dumb ass shows that are killing people. Turn that shit off and get in front of YouTube. All you have to do is type in best ways to lose weight, best way to lower cholesterol, best way to live. And you'll see all those things on there. It's so easy. But you got it. And it's like when I went to the doctor and he was like, oh, he told me with a straight face, you have cancer. And I go, okay, cool. What can I do about it? He goes, there's nothing you can do. We can radiate or we can remove. And I walked out of there. I was like, I'm not doing neither one. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna zap, zap, zap for 42 times or just remove. He's like, and your sexual function may not work. I was like, just kill me now. You know what I'm saying? I don't live for sex, but I want to be able to do it sometimes. Hold up, girl. Let me get the plug.
You got 6 kids. You don't need to do it anymore. You're good. You're good.
Hey, 6 kids ain't shit. That means I had sex 6 times that I'm aware of. But he told me with a straight face there was only 2 things I could do. I went on YouTube. I talked to some of my people that have gotten over it, and boom, it's all out there. All I had to do is reach out. That's all there is to it. Like, for instance, I heard I eat coconuts. Coconut is mostly water. Cucumbers is mostly water. Like, there's so many of these fruits that are mostly water, right? So you could do that. And then, this, I was telling D, if you really want to eat to live, there's a couple things you need to be careful of. Your glycemic index, because some of the food you eat trigger insulin. That, when you trigger insulin, your insulin's like, here we come to save the day. Every time you eat, your insulin shows up. So when you eat foods that are low, and all you can do is Google low glycemic foods, the lower the glycemic the food, the less your insulin has to show up. Sooner or later, your insulin is going to be tired and say, fuck it, you got diabetes, which means your diet is beating you. That's it, right? So if you eat foods that have low glycemic levels, then your insulin doesn't show up. If you eat less, insulin, when you're fasting, insulin don't need to show up. You understand what I'm saying? If you go to the movies and you watch Friday the 13th, Jason is going to show up. If you don't go to the movie, you ain't going to see him. So if you stop, that's my son Prince. So if you stop eating, it's my son Evan. If you stop eating all the time, then your insulin doesn't show up. That's basic. The other thing is, like, cancer lives on glucose and glutamine. That's sugar. Some of the stuff you guys are eating, if you just turn over the labels, it has added sugar. Throw it away. Get rid of it. Cancer lives off of sugar, glutamine, period. That's it. So if you get rid of the sugar, it's done. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you can zap it with garlic and all these type of things. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, all these things are food related. So now if you're not spending money at the doctor, you have more money to invest.
Let me address this comment. And Cecil, he says, anybody making money is either in the penitentiary or not caught yet. I get mine the old-fashioned way. I earn it. And that reminds me of a comment, Earl Nightingale. I'm sure you've heard of Earl Nightingale. But he says, yes, the best way to get money is to earn it. He says money is made at the mint. Because, people say, I'm making money. But he says, no, they make money at the mint, but everybody else has to earn it. So good point. I like that.
So with me, I think of it like this. Like, one of my favorite people in the world is Jamie Dimon. He's chairman, CEO of Chase Bank. Not because I don't like Chase Bank. I know they're not talking about the bank, the history, slavery, and all that shit, trading Negroes on the bond market. I'm not talking about that Chase Manhattan. I'm talking about this as a person. Do you know why? Because he keeps the spread. If you're going to give me money and for 2% interest, and I can go make 100 on it, I make 98%. I only need to do that with 100 grand. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm making, you guys, so I want to be really careful because I know this is a sensitive subject. When we start talking about making money, and then, we get sometimes, well, I earn money the right way. I don't know what that means. There's a million ways to earn money. For me, I just want it. I want to keep that comment up. I just want it to have money. I don't care if I'm digging a ditch, selling cars, making candles, selling t-shirts, clothes, shoes, hats, bags. I don't care what it is. I don't have titleitis. Now, I'll tell you what, though. I would rather be the dude on Alibaba West getting this candle kit for $2 and getting it and selling it for 20. I'd rather do that than be in the factory making that candle or doing the physical work. So, and we as people do not have to, our work does not have to all be physical. Like, people say, I earn my money the hard way. Why in the hell would you want to work hard? You know what I'm saying? There's no gold star for working hard. At the end of the day, we work to make money. to take care of our families. That's it. So, and I know we throw a lot of shade to people in Wall Street and finance. And yeah, those are a lot of crooks out there. So what? They created the system. We're in a system, a world that was created on this system. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I open a restaurant and you serve as a waitress 30 people that night. And I pay you $50 an hour and you make 100 in tips. What did I make from 30 people that spent $100 each? But am I serving these people? No, I'm doing the books. I might be in the kitchen tasting the food. I put in the work to get the restaurant going. But now I have people doing the physical labor. Their job is to then get on my side. I have a book I'm writing. It's called Get the Mexicans Out the Kitchen. And it's a self-help book. I wrote a book for every race. And it's not an offensive book. It's from when I used to date this Mexican girl long time ago, and we would always talk. She'd always get mad when we went to a restaurant because Mexicans would be in the kitchen. I don't care if it was Thai, it was Mexican food, if it was, I don't care, Indian food, the Mexicans were in the kitchen. And she'd always get mad because the Mexicans, and I thought, you know what? Then you need to get the Mexicans out the kitchen. And so the book is called Get the Mexicans Out of the Kitchen, The Other Side of Hospitality, which means going from the back of the counter to the front of the counter. You know what I'm saying? We as Black people, we could do the same thing. We could get in the front of the counter. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because that's where the money is at. I'm telling you. I was today buying cars from the auto auction, and every car that gets bought, you pay a fee. And every car that gets sold, so when the cars I bought today, I paid a fee to buy them. The person that sold them to me paid a fee to sell them to me. You know who wasn't there today at the auction? The owners. They're getting a fee every transaction 2 times. So you telling me you'd rather be the dude or driving the car through the auction? He's making $15 for the hour, working 4 hours today. Or you rather be the dude that's getting the fee every transaction? Those people are demonized. I would argue with you, and I'm gonna step on some toes, but I'm not gonna. I don't know another way to say this. Some of who we consider some of the most evil people in the world are some of the wealthiest, do the well off. And when you look at their lifestyles and ours, it's not much different. We say, oh, follow the Bible, but most of y'all don't do that. Man, if I had to put a camera and follow every person, you understand where I'm going with this. So we have to drop that shit. Just get the money. And you need the money. And I know Bitcoin is hot, but I like it better at 64. Actually, I like it better at 30 because I can buy it. And when it comes to money, I hear gold, silver, Bitcoin. You guys, what I'm talking about is making the money yourself. Then you put it to work. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You make the money, put it to work. The problem with us is we don't save enough. If you make $1, put 20 cents away, or you're going to die a horrible, broke death. That's it. You are going to die a horrible death. If you're not saving a percentage of every dollar you make, I don't care what you think, there's going to be one day where something comes up and you're going to be in trouble. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, dude, Mexicans go. My boy that's Mexican was like, dude, I'll co-write the book with you. It's a hot title. You know what I'm saying? School is for Dummies, my book, Nigga Rich. I can go on and on and on. The point I'm making is, and that's extra knowledge. You can make money doing everything. But we got to take the excuses away. We got to do that, right? We got to get our health in order. Black people, people of color, whoever's watching this, you can control your money by watching what you eat and watching what you spend. Period. You guys, if you're blowing money on stuff you don't need, it is your fault. Don't tell me you can't go out and make $6,000 a month. That is total horseshit. Now, there's days where I didn't make $6,000 a month. I get it. You're doing a business, you lose money, blah, 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 blah. But you can go out and do these things. You can make money multiple ways. The problem is with us is we get tired and we quit early. That's it. Anyone on here, I'm going to tell you how to do it right now. Find you a dude or a girl that owns a car dealership. I'm going to give you the game. I'm like one of those YouTube people. I say, why in the hell would they teach us that? Why wouldn't they just make all the money? Find you somebody that owns a car dealership and say, hey, I'm gonna buy cars through you, and for every car I buy through the auction, through your dealership, I'm gonna give you $100. Ta-da! So my son Evan, for life, right? I almost ran into him. Me and him almost got into a car accident at the gas station, right? I almost hit my older self, my younger self, whatever you want to call it. So that BMW I paid $3,300 for. It needed some work, and right now we're asking $5,900 for. Do you see what I'm saying? Or I bought a Nissan Leaf, those little electric cars. Today I bought one for $2,000. I'm gonna ask $4,000 for it. So I was telling my son Evan yesterday, we were driving this Honda Insight. It ain't sexy, but I made it 2,600. It's a $6,000 car. Even if I sold it cheap and I made $2,000, what I said to him is, what if I just sold one car per week? If I spent all 80 hours of my work life just to buy and sell just one car, that's $2,000 a week. That's $100,000 a year. Do you know how many people work 60, 70 hours a week and don't make 50,000 a year? Because they're looking at it the wrong way. You need to look at money from the top, like a helicopter. Where's the money? Okay, that dude bought that car for 6,000. I could get it for 3. That dude paid $22 for this candle. I can make it for 3. Do you know what I'm saying? Or on and on and on. You could do that, but you have to stop and look at things from the top. That's it. You guys, I started doing this with D 2 years ago during the pandemic. Shit, 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago. We were doing it with the dude that wears a cape in the council meetings. And I remember telling people what to do, and a few people have done it. And real estate was much cheaper than it is right now. 3 years ago, we weren't saying real estate is unaffordable, right? It was high, but it wasn't what it is right now. So those of us that bought real estate 2 years ago, even a year ago, are feeling the effects of increased net worth. Now, thank God for the recession and all the robots and all the shit that's getting ready to hit our people, and I mean the human race, because then we get a chance to go back in, because interest rates are at 6%. So you know what most people do that are buying a house? They go, oh, interest rates are too high. I'm okay paying 6%. Do you know why? Because at the end of the day, I care about what I get from the deal. If I could buy a house at 3% and it's going to cost me $2,000, and now it's going to cost me $2,800 because it's 6%, but I'm still making $5,000 on the deal, I'm still making money. That's how wealthy people think. We should get stuck on interest rates. That shit is for poor people to keep them diverted from the real task. I don't care if my interest rate was 40%. It don't matter. Let me use it. See if you rolled your eyes. Let me break it down to you. Let's say I bought my car at 40% interest, right? Let's say today, the car I bought today, the little Leaf, I bought it for $2,000. Let's say my interest is 40%. That's high as hell, right? But what's 40% of $2,000? That's $800, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's some shark loan, like checking the cash shit. But if I paid $2,000 and I paid $8,000 to borrow that $2,000, but if I sold the car for $4,000, even after I pay that shark interest, I still make $1,200. Let me ask you this: how many people make $1,200 every week off of a transaction? Even if my and you guys, that's if my interest rate I held it the whole year. How long am I keeping that money? For a week. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I take $2,000 and I pay 40% on it, I give them, but that's $800 for the whole year. My question is, how many times can I flip that $2,000? Can I flip it 20 times? Hell to the yeah. So if I make 1,200 times 20, what is that? Help me out.
12 times 20.
Because I always answer the question. I ain't gonna do it this time.
Plus 12 times 20. I don't know. It's like
$24,000.
Yeah.
I wasn't. That's $24,000. So if every 2 weeks, not every 2 weeks, every like 2.5 weeks, I take something and I fix it up and I flip it and I make $1,200. That's $24,000 a year on that $2,000. So I take $2,000, I pay $800 in interest for borrowing it, but I make $24,000. Are you sitting here telling me that because your interest rate's 40%, that you're going to let $800 get in the way of 24? This is why I say Jamie Dimon is one of my favorite people, because this is what he's doing at the banks. B of A, Wells Fargo. You big dummies. You go into the bank, you leave all that money sitting there. They get 1%. Oh, I'm getting 1% on my shit. You dumbass. The minute you put it in the bank, they're loaning it to the person behind you at 20. You would be better turning around and giving it to them for 20. I tell you what, man, you're getting robbed. I'm gonna give you the money for 12. Now I'm gonna need your social, but the title, I'm gonna need a bunch of shit. But I'm gonna give it to you for 12. That would make more sense to me. That's why we have to open a bank. Coulter Capital, we're taking donations, right? Because the money is in banking. Say what you say about Wall Street, but man, those guys are getting rich. And you know who does not go to jail during the financial collapses?
Them.
Wall Street. You know why? Because they wrote the rules. And their senators and congressmen. Do you ever wonder why the banks go to Washington all the time? Why does Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Donald Trump need to keep meeting with the banks? What do you think they're doing? Do you think Donald Trump's going or Joe Biden's going, hey, you know, you got to do better? Hell no. He's raising money. And they got shit on that dude. So why Bugs Bunny said if you can't beat him, join him. I think Lil Wayne said that too, right? If you can't beat him, I listen to hip hop. Some of y'all be thinking I don't know this shit, but I know my hip hop. Trust me on this. So it would make more sense to do that. Like, damn, these Ray-Ban glasses, trust me, they Ray-Ban, I bought them from Costco. But I know somebody in Indonesia stamped Ray-Ban on this, and these glasses cost $2 a make. And at Costco, they're, I think, $100. I know goddamn well these didn't cost no $50 a make. Go to Alibaba West and Google, like type in something you want to buy, and they have the video and they show the people in the factory actually making the stuff. They will make 1,000 of these glasses in 1 hour. They just roll off the assembly line, somebody popping their lens and pop, 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 pop. Snap that Ray-Ban, fold them up, quality insurance, boom, put them in the box to America, period. And they're making 1,000 of these an hour. You wonder why the Chinese are getting rich and we're getting broke, we're becoming poor? Because they're doing that and we're buying from them. And you know who just is talking about lifting the embargo to China? Your boy Joe Bidet. You know what I'm saying?
Bidet, really?
You guys, in 2 weeks, you can go to joebidet.com and get a bidet. Like, seriously, like, you should not be wiping your butt with tissue. That's just barbaric. Anyways, think about it. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Take better care of yourself. So think like that. We need to become a prosumer, not a consumer. I don't want to buy shit that I can make on my own. I tell you, my candle budget was like $100 to $200 per month. Easily, I spent $200 on, because I light them all day. I got all this stress and shit around me. I light a candle as soon as people leave. I light my house. It looks like Sting and wrapped around your finger video. But instead of spending $200 a month on candles, I made these candles, all these candles, for less than $10. And I burned these for the last 3 shows. These same old candles, hazelnut coffee, what is that? Tobacco, vanilla. I wrote on this is my assistant's handwriting. So if you can make your own stuff, you'll save money. And then you know what happens when you make your own stuff? You sell your own stuff. So what we need to do, black people, start learning how to make liquor. Like, seriously, we start making our own liquor. Like, think about this for a second. Where are our rich black celebrities going into business? What are they making? Liquor.
Yeah.
Ace of Spade. The Rock has got, what's the name of The Rock's tequila? I don't know. It's named after Samoan heritage. George Clooney. What's his name? Somebody else. Sean John has his own Ciroc. Like, damn. Yeah, Biden telling the Joe Bidet is hot, baby. They are making alcohol. I remember sitting in a lounge and watching somebody order a $300, $400, now $500 bottle of Ace of Spade. And there she is again. Hey, girl, like your hair color. I'm like, I have 6 kids. I say, not at first. Kids will wipe you out. They just do because they keep asking for shit. But I put my kids to work, so we can make money together. But if we made our own alcohol, and I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna try it, right? I'm
Just
not.
don't blow nothing up.
It's fermented fruit. You know what I'm saying? We have fruit delay. I don't know, but we have to be responsible for the stuff that we are making. You guys just know, I'm telling you, when I started thinking like this, like I bought these candle holders from this. I don't know if I can't reach it. I'm gonna break my neck on this cabinet, but they have I bought this candle set from Amazon. Right, you can go candle set. It's the thing to put the candle out. The thing to dig the wick out. It's the lighter, and it's it's one more thing. I can't remember what. Oh, it's the thing to cut the wick low, so you don't get the shit I got going on right now. That kit was $20 on Amazon. Alibaba's selling it for $2. The same exact kit with the same lighter for $2. So you know where I'm gonna get my next lighter, my candle set from? Alibaba. I'm gonna get me one, and I'm gonna get 99 other ones and sell to the consumers. I prosume and then sell to the consumers. You do that. We have a water. I don't know what my water bottle is. It's somewhere. So I'm trying to drink my water bottle. The water bottle. Where's my water bottle? My water bottle there, Evan. I think let me grab it. Where's my water bottle? Oh, anyways, my water bottle is somewhere. But I paid $20 on Amazon for this water bottle. On Ali, if you go to Ali West and type in glass water bottle, it's $2. It's an $18 spread. So what we're gonna do is get those bottles and put the liquidator. Because they'll customize it. We're gonna put the liquidator on the side and write, where water flows, the fat goes. Period.
Now talk about the difference between, I'm not sure if we did or not, I'm sure you guys know, the difference between plastic water bottles and glass water bottles.
Well, plastic water bottles is for those of you that want to deal with illnesses later in life. Think about this, you can't see microscopic things, right? So when you put water in a water bottle, there's plastics and there's chemicals in there. Think about this. You ever seen a mountain that had ridges in it, right? Where do you think those come from? Or rivers? That's water flow, right? What do you think is doing to the water bottle, to the plastic, over sitting in a water bottle for 30 days? Think about that. That's why I use glass, right? You can go liquidate I don't know, we haven't come up with the name yet, but we will have this water bottle out. We're ordering them right now from China. And the cool thing about China is that we're on a different time zone. So we're sitting here at 10 o'clock one night, and we're literally chatting with Chinese people. And they're chatting us back, and they're right there. You want to order? Perfect. Boom. So we're ordering a bunch of samples so we can get here, and then we can look at them. When you can do that sitting in this chair, you don't have to get up for that. And then you just hire some people, you give them $15 an hour, and you have them do the work. Shit. Go out to the swap meet, or you go out to the parking lot. Here's 100 bottles. Don't come back till they're gone. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you $5 a bottle that you sell. You sell 100 bottles, you'll make $500. Let me ask your kids this: if I gave them 100 bottles and said you keep $5 a bottle, you come back and you sell 100 water bottles. I don't care if it takes you 10 hours. You make $500 a day. Do you know that's $2,500 a week? Come on, do you feel me? It's 100. Is that right? They can't be right. They can't be right.
Yeah, if you tell them sell 100 at $5 a bottle, yeah, that's $500.
That's times 6 or times 5. That's $2,500 a week. That's 100. What, 25,000 a year, somewhere like that? Let me ask you a question. How many people on here making 125,000 a year? Now, when I say that, people will go, "Oh shit, hell no, I ain't hitting the parking lot." Then fuck it then. Go punch your clock. You can hit the parking lot, or you can punch your clock. Now, I just told you how to make $500 a day. What will stop people from doing it? Every excuse under the book. So there's no reason not to have money. And now first you get out the car, you selling water bottles, you look dumb as hell. People, what do they think? Hey, bitch, I made $500 today. And you went to work for $200 today. And you made lunch, changed your clothes, you did all this stuff, drop your kids off at daycare, or he or she, whatever it is. And you made $200 and I made $500 and I've been standing in this parking lot all day. And then you do that for 3 or 4 months. And then you pull your Tesla to the side and you put your sign, the liquidator, on your Tesla. And then you play hip hop music and you sell water driving through the parking lot in your Tesla. You know what I'm saying?
They say sales is the only job that you can write your own paycheck. That's why so many people go into sales. I mean, you know, there is a feast or a famine with sales, but if you're committed and, you know, dedicated and all that, you can write your own paycheck in sales.
Yeah. And I want to correct you. There's no such thing as feast and famine in sales. What it is our energy level, because we get
right.
Because I know what you mean. I've been in most of the sales jobs I have been famine. But there are people, every sales job I had, there are people that are doing way, way better, which is why I signed up in the first place. The last network marketing thing I did, the guy that pulled me into it ultimately made $1 million last year. I made $175,000 my top year. He just outworked me. He worked longer and he worked harder. That was it. That was the only difference.
He surely wasn't more knowledgeable, but like you said.
Oh no. He came to me all the time with shit. I got a question. Right here, I got a question. One more time. I'm gonna slap the shit out of the cheeseburger man. It was insane, but he just worked harder. He had his famine, but the problem is when the famine came, he just kept grinding, he kept grinding. I just told you how to make $125,000 a year. Now, you know what I would do from there? Is if I was that kid slinging water bottles, I would go get me some other kids and say, hey, I'm going to give you guys $2.50 a bottle. So, Walter, I'm going to need 200 bottles today. I'm going to give them 100 bottles to flip, and I'm going to sell 100. So now I'm making 250 times 100. I'm making 250 today, plus 5, I'm making 750. Is that complicated? No. That is almost $4,000 a week. That is $200,000 a year. But it takes energy to get up and do that. You have to get up. You have to fight your mental, oh my God, I don't want to be seen in the parking lot. I could give a damn who sees me in the parking lot.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me. I mean, because it's the end game, right? You know, you making, you know, $4,000 a week or whatever it is. I wouldn't even care about that. I'm like, the only thing I do care about is, do you want a water bottle or not? You know, because like you said, the other side of that is going to work for, let's say you go work for a water bottle company. You're probably going to be, I don't know, I'm just, you know, using an example, on an assembly line, putting them in the box. So wouldn't it be easy for you to just get them on your own and then go set your own time that you go to work, and, you know, you have a number that you're going to sell and you keep all of it, opposed to having somebody over? You said, you know, you took 5 minutes too long on your break. See, that's why I couldn't go back to an office or punch a clock, because I couldn't deal with that. I already know me. But some people, I mean, I think we also concede the fact that people are going to have to go to a job, right? So having a job is not a bad thing. But if you want to do more outside of that job, then you might have to go and create your own job, your own source of income, right? To live the lifestyle you want to live.
And there's nothing wrong with having a job. That's not what we're saying. If you have a job and you're happy, fine. I'm talking to the people that are bitching about their income, who have a job and that's all they do, right? That's it. You know, while we're talking about network marketing, you know, or networking, like, you guys, I don't care what you do for a living. You're in sales. You are selling somebody. You sold somebody to hire you for the job. You sell your wife or your husband or your kids, or how you ain't got no money and how it ain't your fault. You sell them why you don't eat good food, why you in that raggedy ass Datsun B210. You sell somebody every day of your life. Oh, honey, times are hard. We can't do it. You sold them the fact that you can't do it. When you go to punch a clock, you sell yourself, because if you do not sell yourself at work, they will fire your ass. Elon Musk is talking about firing 10% of Tesla. Like, Uber is moving their American workforce to overseas. Do you understand? So when you call Uber, it's going to be like, May I know your name? Welcome to Capital One or whatever shit. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Their English is better than ours. But so wouldn't it make sense for you to do the same thing? Like you guys, the robots are coming.
They here.
I mean, they sending out the lookouts. They just sending out the scouts.
The robots are here, and they've been here for a while.
Yeah.
But people don't understand. That's why I tell people to study AI, because they're here. You know, I used to work at a warehouse in the 90s, Frito-Lay, as a matter of fact, and everything was done manually. When I say everything, making the boxes, everything was done manually. But over time, they started to shift to, you know, robots and machines and all that doing it. And now they said only like 25% of the warehouse is ran by manpower. The rest is ran by AI machines. So they're already here. And with AI here and, you know, coming even more, who is that going to affect mostly? That's going to affect Black people. You know why? Because we're the ones that predominantly work in the service industries. And so when you go to a Walmart, yeah, you might still see people standing around, but where do they direct you to go? To self-checkout, because they only have like 2, maybe 3 lines open and on the grocery stores. And hell, you can even go to McDonald's and the machine will take your order. And so they're getting rid of human labor. Again, we predominantly make up the service industry, so that's going to affect us. And so we need to be having conversations about, okay, what do we do to to sustain ourselves? Because when AI takes over, and it will take over, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Stephen Hawking, they all said, Stephen Hawking is not here anymore, but they all said that we are terrified of AI because it would behoove man to learn how to work with AI, because all they need to do is become self-aware. So they being the robots, just like the Terminator situation. Y'all see the Terminator? When AI becomes self-aware, it is said that they will take over, right? And so these people who deal with AI, you know, for Elon Musk, Tesla is ran by a machine, a robot. They said that we need to learn how to get along with these robots. So, and I always tell y'all the story about my car. I have a Hyundai Sonata, it's a 2013, but my transmission was kind of stuttering. It kept on stuttering. So I took it to the dealership. I'm thinking they're going to have to give me a whole new transmission. I sat down maybe 15 minutes later. The technician came out and said, "Oh, we adjusted it." I said, "Oh, really?" It was something small. He says, "Oh, yeah. After a while, your car was driving the way it wanted to drive. And so we just readjusted the machine. So now you can drive how you wanted to drive." And it freaked me out to know that my car was driving. It completely says, "Okay, I don't like the way you drive," or whatever it is. So I'm going to start driving, and they have to fix it so I can, be in control of the car. So it's coming. It's here.
Yeah, and you need to sell that car anyway. Shit, I already told you 20 times.
I'm a rock it till the wheels fall off.
No, sell it, keep the cash, and buy 2 and rock 1 till the wheels fall off, and rent 1 out till the wheels fall off. I mean, you guys, building financial security is doable if you just stop. Like even last night, I was just looking, that's why you have to do, I was never really a fan of accounting, but now I'm becoming an addict of spreadsheets. Like last night and every night now I'm looking at my spreadsheets, and this morning I'm going over my profit and loss. And that's something that I've really done well in the past, but now that I'm doing it, my attitude has changed. So I'm going, oh my God, I need to make $30,000 a month. And so I'm looking at it the wrong way because I'm not looking at the full picture. But once I broke it down, each individual transaction, I was like, oh shit, that's nothing. But the fact that I wasn't focusing on it, I wasn't doing it. Does that make sense? So what the things that are measured grow. Does that make sense? So you know where you stand, you know where to go. So this is a great book called Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill, he wrote Outwitting the Devil.
I have it over there somewhere on my book. I know I have it.
Outwitting the Devil is probably the best book next to The Slight Edge I've ever read, and Think and Grow Rich. Those 3, if I went to a space capsule, I would take those 3 books. Man, the knowledge they drop in those books. Like, and I'm not going to kill the church or school systems. I'm going to leave that for my book, School is for Dummies. Y'all can have that later. But the fear factor is wiping you and your children out. That's another thing you can make more money. Just drop the fear. What's the worst case scenario that can happen to you if the shit don't work? If you go to Ali West and you order a bottle, not the liquidator because that's mine, but if you do another one and it fails, you end up with 100 water bottles. You're gonna use them anyway. And Christmas, some of y'all still celebrate, so everybody gets a water bottle. You know what I'm saying? If the shit don't work, give it, like, if the candle business don't work, guess what everyone's getting for the holidays from me? Candles. You too, shit. Matter of fact, I got no tobacco right here. Like, we should be making our gifts, don't you think? If you make a gift for somebody and they don't like it, cut their ass off. Gifts are about principle. You understand what I'm? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Then you ain't getting shit, right? Like, all this stuff ties into what? Cash. So what if you can just start out slowly, a little bit at a time? And yeah, I like one of these comments. Teach your kids a code. That's it. Teach your kids to code. Think about the richest people in the world right now. Who are they? Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, right? Bill Joy, he's an old dude from back in the days. Think about this. Mark Zuckerberg. I'm sorry?
Jeff Bezos.
What do they all do? I don't know about Jeff, but what do most of those guys do?
Technology.
They code. They all code. I don't know about Jeff. So wouldn't it make sense? And I was telling my son this last night, who wants to be a coder. I said, if you can code and then you come up with an idea with a good business idea or somebody that has one, you can code the plan. That's it. So coders are the future because they'll be the ones coding the restaurants, right? So I'm not sure what this is about.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Maybe you meant code, maybe I'm not sure.
There's usually, what is this? They come out telling the public that robots are mind of their own and can't be controlled. They're usually a white or Asian person on the computer behind the robots. I don't know. I don't get wrapped into conspiracy. And those of you that know me by now know I don't get stuck too much on the color of skin. I mean, I'm Black. I want to help my people, but I don't spend a lot of time worrying about racial in or racial equality. What I do is I work my ass off to be equal or more, and then I try and help as many people as I can do the same. You take every Black man in this country and you teach him just to take care of himself and then help somebody with him, which would probably be a woman, right? We are stronger. I don't care if you're Mexican, Haitian, Black, whatever you are. If everybody works on taking, and I don't care what it is, we become stronger. Like, you know why we have an Asian hate bill? Because they got the cash. And Asians get together, you see them. They get together. You want to see a group of people, that one race, you'll see Asians. A lot of the Indians, people like that, they stick together. I don't know, I can't explain it, but they do.
Yeah, it's not even second nature to them, it's first nature, right? Like, in our community, unfortunately, we have to say, go buy Black today. Make sure when you go buy some shoes, try to buy Black first. But everybody else, in other races, they're like, I went and bought some Black today, right? They don't have to be reminded. It's like, duh. Well, you ain't got to tell me. I always do that. You know what I'm saying? So we need to have that become just like our first mindset, right? I'm going to buy whatever it is. And I try to buy Black because we know we don't have a lot of Black stores or things like that. We could find it if we really need to. But that should be our first mindset, buy Black first.
But I don't know, are you tired of having this conversation? Like,
in regards to what?
All of this shit. Like, okay, buy Black and invest in Black. But Black people, if I buy with, here's a question I want to ask people. And I don't care what I'm gonna address these two things. You guys, you need to stop hating on Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, Bozo, whatever you call him. Jeff Bezos is a fucking boss. He started a company, went public in 1997. I remember us clowning him. I was a stockbroker in 1997. I remember us joking about Amazon. That dude is a boss. And if so, people like it's things like that keep us broke. You know what I'm saying? We ought to be trying to be like Jeff Bezos. Stop listening to these idiot ass politicians. Hey, I'm Jeff Bezos. I'm putting an Amazon in New York so your neighborhoods will improve. And no, because we don't want all that money over here because the property values are going to go up. Wouldn't it make sense to buy some property so when it does go up, you got it? Like, stop. Think, man. Y'all need to back up off Jeff. I like to see people doing well. You know what I'm saying? Robert Smith, who's a billionaire, brother. We have a lot of people that are doing well. But we as people, what we do when somebody's doing too well, we say, oh, he's a thief. Oh, hell to the no. He ain't no good. We got to stop that shit. That's jealousy. We need to praise and recognize people that are doing better. You telling me you don't want to have Jeff Bezos' life? You don't want to be able to take your whole family on a boat and just leave society, turn your cell phone off and be like the hell to the no and land on a helicopter and bring your fresh food in and you just chill with your family and watch the sunset in fucking Monaco or the Caribbean? Like, don't sit there and tell me that bullshit.
A $400 million boat.
You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for Jeff Bezos, y'all wouldn't have half the shit in your house today.
Oh, now you're stepping on toes. Now you done went too far.
I mean, look, I got this book, the way the Superior Mantis gave my son the power of now. I got this shit on Amazon. It came the next day. And if I was gonna be real, like my father, sometimes you don't want to go in his mind. You think I'm nuts. I don't even say it. Anyways, back up off Jeff. What was I saying before that? I get irritated, man. I hate when people fuck with people that have done well. The stock split, that's the shit we ought to be talking about. Jeff, Amazon, they did a 20-to-1 stock split, which means now it's 2,400, now it's 200 or 100 or whatever it is. You know what's going to happen to that stock? It's going to go up because now they did a split, which means now everybody can afford a share. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, like
the Pioneer crazy. Talk about it sound like the name of a demon.
What's that?
Bezos. Jeff is Bezos.
That's it. Bezos. But here's the thing. It's keeping you guys poor as a motherfucker. Because I guarantee you say what you want to say about Jeff. You won't have to do it from down the hill and behind the gates. You know what I'm saying? Say what you want. Like rich people are like there's nothing wrong with being ultra rich. I want to be like Jeff one day. I want to be able to like tell my family, you know what? Something happens to me, you guys are straight for the rest of your life. Period. Same with like Elon. Dude, you guys realize Elon almost went bankrupt starting Tesla? Like seriously, he almost went bankrupt. He put it all on when he sold PayPal. He took half his money to invest in Tesla that was already, he didn't start it, but he just put money in it. He didn't start PayPal. He just merged to form it. And then he took the other half and was like, fuck it. I'm going all in. If it doesn't work, I'll start from the bottom again. Those are conversations we need to be having. Not, oh my God, this and the rich people. And oh, I believe in God for my money. You dumbass. God gave you the power to go out and move the money. If it's not corn or cattle, it's money. You know, as we've aged as the human race, we make money differently. But back in the ancient days, so we've heard, I've never seen a dude with 4,000 cows with a staff. I never met Moses or a rat or Bendigo or whoever these people. I never met these cats. But if you read the Bible, some of these things, it talks about some of these guys had hundreds of goats and had gold. It's the same thing. You need to read The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Fire. And that book keeps you, and The Alchemist too, which is what Will Smith's, the book that he recommended. Great book. They make you wait to the last page of the book to get the story.
Don't tell it.
I ain't gonna tell it. I ain't gonna give it away. But The Greatest Salesman in the World, The Alchemist, man, like those books had me going like, damn, I get it now.
The Alchemist is a great book. I suggest people have their children read the book so they can start getting in that mindset. It's a fictional book, but it gives like life lessons and things that people really should learn early on in life. I've read the book a few times. I've given it out as gifts, in hopes that people will read it. But it is a really good book. And yeah, Will Smith says that is his absolute favorite book. and it has inspired him to be where he is, minus the slap, right? Be where he is in life. It's an awesome book. Paulo Coelho is the name of the author.
It's a great book.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I was telling my son Evan, like, you need to watch The Karate Kid. I know, like, talking about the original, not with Will Smith's son, not that version. I'm talking about the original Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. The problem is you can't tell people shit these days. You can't tell people shit. And I'm gonna leave my kid nameless, or kids in this conversation. But one of my kids, and I know it was just a joke, but was like, "Hey," telling my other kid, "Are you getting paid in advice?" And it was like a joke. But let me ask you a question. What's more valuable to you? Advice that works or the money you get at that moment? Like, my father didn't pay me for going to work. Sometimes he gave me money, or he would ask me to go to the store and I would keep the change. I did that all the time. But, or he'd let me wear his jacket that had $50 in it. So he didn't really pay me. Like, he was saying, "Oh, today you're making $25 an hour." None of that stuff. I watched this dude get up at 5 a.m. and grind it out and deal with customers and smile and laugh. And even my father was straight Muslim. Like, Muhammad got the devil on the run. He's one of those. But I watched him interact with people. I don't care what the race was. My father knew how to turn the shit on and off. Do you understand what I'm saying? My father is Muslim like Muslim. My grandmother Katie would always say, the Muslims, you bean pie carrying, bow tie wearing. He was one of those Muslims. Final speaks, or whatever.
Number two Muhammad speaks newspaper salesman in the country. I think it was 1963. He was able to sit on the stage with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as, I guess a prize for doing that. So yes, Muslim to the bone.
Now you know where I get my sales skills from. So, I watched him deal with people and all that stuff. So the fear I had with dealing with people went away, because when they would talk to him, they would talk to me, right? And so I was like, okay, so people aren't that bad. And then I would watch him, and then he would send me to the store to go do this, or can you go to the store and buy this? He had me give me the 5/8, give me the 1/2 inch. And so I learned all this shit. It was like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. And so as I get older, that shit that I learned from him, I still use. Last night, we were working on my neighbor's car at 11 o'clock at night. And then we were working on changing a battery in one of the BMWs I have. I said, "Oh, you know what? Without even looking at, just looking at the battery, I said, we need a 10 and a 13 millimeter." I knew it just from doing it as a kid. I know what a 5/8 and a 1/2 inch looks like. So that shit I could use. Yeah, and he did give me money. I'm not saying I work for free. He would give me money, do things for me. I earned my place in the house, survival. But last night I was using, at 52 years old, a skill he taught me when I was 5 years old. I changed that battery in that BMW that I bought for $48. That BMW wants $400 to change. Saved me $350. And I changed the one, I taught my son Evan how to change the one in the Jetta that we have in the garage that my boy Thomas is doing the brakes on right now. The point I'm making is we used to spend money paying mechanics for that shit. But then I just dug into my old crate, and now we're doing the shit ourselves. My mechanic's like, "Dude, where'd you go?" I'm like, "Dude, I became you. I'm the businessman. I'm paying you $2,000 a week as a mechanic to work on my shit. I'm going to keep that in the house." But I learned those original things from my pops. He used to wake us up at 5 a.m. We used to pray to Allah. Bath or not, we would get up. There's two things we would do. We would take our ass to work and we would pray. 5 a.m. we would face the east, get on our knees, and we would pray. And we'd get in the car. It was freezing cold. And we would drive to the shop. It was freezing cold. I remember it was cold. And we didn't eat all day till that night. There was no lunch breaks working with my father. It was like, food didn't even come up. But all that shit now to me is child's play. Like, I wake up and it's 2 o'clock and I haven't eaten. Doesn't even cross my mind. It hasn't even crossed my mind about eating today. Hasn't even crossed my mind. Most people have already eaten twice today. That is 2 hours you have wasted, thrown down the drain. You could have been doing something else. But you gave control to your mind that can go a month without eating and says you need to eat all day, every day. That is poverty thinking. Not to mention you're going to be fat as hell. What up, Bev? You're going to be fat as hell doing that. Am I making sense?
Yes, indeed.
So these are the things, like, we have money. If money comes to your hands, you have the ability. You can take $100 and you can flip it. The problem is you don't flip. You don't go, how can I make, like, you guys, these are our songs. How to make $1 out of 15 cents. That didn't come from a hee-haw record. That's R&B. That's black culture. Tupac even said it. You know what I'm saying? But like, we'll hear people say it, we'll sing it, we'll hear Tupac say it, but yet we won't do it. Doesn't make sense to me. I said I was going to give you a couple strategies. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you one that I just did and I'm doing right now. This is something I'm doing this moment. You could do this if you have decent credit or know somebody with decent credit. You could do this right now.
Can you do it in the next 5 minutes?
No, we can do it. I can do it in 6. I can do it in 3, whatever. Here's what, like, for instance, so we need an electric car in my household, right? So my girlfriend's been wanting a Tesla. And so I'm thinking, okay, blah, 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 blah. So today I saw one. And so they wanted $28,000 for this 2013 Tesla with 80,000 miles, which is cheap, by the way, right? So I called my bank, Navy Federal, and I said, before I even bought the damn car, I gave them the VIN number and said, here is this Tesla. It's a 2013 P85, da-da-da-da-da. I said, how much will you loan me against it? She goes, we'll give you $47,000. We'll loan you $47,000 on this car. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, the car is $28,000. What am I doing with the 47 to the 28?
Flipping it.
$19,000. You have to pay tax and do some things. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now the question is, what do I do with $19,000? That loan is going to cost me $800 a month or $10,000 a year. But if I take $19,000 and flip it 5 or 6 times and turn it into 100, do you feel me?
Yes.
So if I give them $10,000, but I keep 100 or 120, what does that do for me? You can do all that with credit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Back to the comments. And Alibaba is Chinese owned. I love it. I'm glad somebody's doing it.
But Alibaba is like the Chinese version of Amazon. That's what that is, where you can order stuff wholesale. It's owned by Jack Ma, who is a Chinese billionaire, if you will. But yeah, so it's just a Chinese version of Amazon.
You guys, we can learn a lot from the Chinese. And by the way, Chinese people are Black people. You understand that, right? Like, Chinese people are Black people. That's it. You look
do they know that?
Chinese people were Africans. Look at their noses even today.
Do they know that?
They know it. You go to some of their museums, you go to Europe, you'll see some of the stuff. They are Africans. Give me 1 second.
Well, go ahead and do your thing. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Walter be here all day. So anyway, y'all, we're going to let Walter get to whatever it is he's got to do. Sound like your doorbell is ringing. Let you guys get to your evening and all of that. Walter, what say you before we get out of here?
It's money time up in here. No, I ordered some parts for my business, and I know you can come grab it. And so, here's the other thing, you guys. You know what you can do? Start asking people, what if they can do certain things. Go ahead. I'm doing a podcast, but you can grab it. There you go. You're welcome. So, what I used to go out. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I used to go to the parts store, me and my crew, and pick up the parts from the goddamn parts store. And then one day I'll go, do you guys deliver? He goes, yeah. I go, man, I've been buying parts from you for 2 years, paying somebody $15 every time they come up and pick the part up. Now, as you can see, Consuela, I can't remember what her name is, but it's close to that. They bring shit to the house. That means I was able to let somebody go. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. So start asking people more questions. Can you do this? All they can do is say no. And let me end with the Tesla story. The Tesla is 28 grand. They'll give me 47. That's it. Take the 19 grand and move it. So the Tesla can go on Turo. I have 19 grand that I can turn into 40 grand in a month or two. So Turo's making my Tesla payment, and the 19 grand is mine to flip as long as I want.
Amazing.
You never have to go to work again. You can tell your boss, my ass. That's my other son, Miles. He's the analytical, skeptical one. But hear what I'm saying?
That's the smart one.
He's a smart one. I'm not embarrassed. I mean, he's offspring.
That's the conscience of the family.
I mean, somebody got to have a conscience.
Yes.
I mean, I struggle with that. I admit it. That's why you have offspring.
Right.
So anyways, you guys, I want to hear next week what you started. Just start something. Go to Ali West. I don't know. Just start something, even if it fails. Just start it. And if it doesn't work, your average business owner, I think, failed 5 to 7 times. The average millionaire has failed 5 to 7 times in business.
Absolutely. So anyway, y'all, for the third time, we sound
like a black preacher. We coming to the close.
Right. Lord have mercy. 14 hours later. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back live on Sunday, Donovan and I. I'm sure we'll talk about something that's trending or maybe something fun. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns or suggestions, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to discuss it. But anyway, you guys stay cool, because I know in Houston, it's going to be like 102 degrees for the next couple of days. And so not ready for that. So we'll see you guys. See you guys later. Be blessed and everything in between. Peace.